Well, prosecutors say this is a first for all of us. They're charging a murder suspect in New Jersey under the state's terrorism law. They say he killed a college student as part of a, quote, bloody crusade to punish the United States for its foreign policy in the Middle East. That's what they said. Today, the suspect pleaded not guilty to murder and terrorism charges. Investigators say he randomly chose a 19-year-old, this 19-year-old, named Brendan Tevlin. Chose him last summer, shooting Tevlin 8 times as he sat in his car at a traffic light. They say the suspect told detectives the murder was a, quote, just kill because the victim was a man with no women, children, or elderly people nearby. Investigators say a few weeks earlier, the gunman, this man, murdered 3 other young men in the Seattle area. 2 of them, according to authorities, execution style. Let's turn to Rick Leventhal, who's live for us this afternoon in Newark, New Jersey, where I promise you it is not yet nighttime. There's just a lot of light going on there. What happened in court today, Rick?
It was a very brief appearance, Shepard. Ali Muhammad Brown was in court for maybe 2 minutes and spoke just 2 words when the judge greeted him directly. He said, "Good morning," but he had plenty to say. The self-described devout Muslim had plenty to say to investigators after his arrest last summer on multiple charges, including armed robbery, carjacking, and murder. Brown telling detectives and prosecutors, quote, "My mission is vengeance for the lives, millions of lives lost every day. Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, all these places where innocent lives are being taken every single day. This is why this happened in West Orange," referring to the 10 bullets he fired at 19-year-old Brendan Tevlin, hitting him 8 times. Tevlin was simply driving home from a friend's house. Brown, who appeared in court in jailhouse scrubs and a religious skull cap, apparently hoped to travel to Syria or Iraq and join the fight against U.S. and coalition forces, but instead he will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars, Shep.
And he's still facing charges in Washington State, right?
Yeah, well, once Brown is tried here, he will be sent back to Seattle to face 3 murder charges there. Ahmed Said and Dwayne Anderson Young both shot execution style as they sat in a car last June 1st. Leroy Henderson shot as he walked down a sidewalk in a southern suburb. All of them killed with the same 9mm handgun used in the Tevlin murder, according to authorities. After court, Brendan's parents were asked how they were holding up.
Best we can.
Yeah, as you can imagine.
It's going to be a long process.
It's a parent's worst nightmare, and it happened to us.
Your reaction to seeing the defendant on court today?
No reaction.
He doesn't deserve a reaction.
Tevlin was a straight-A student who loved to surf and play lacrosse and hoped to become fluent in Spanish by studying abroad. His parents say they want to honor his memory by focusing on the good, Shep.
Rick Leventhal live for us in Jersey. Rick, thank you. Bob Bianchi's here with us. He's a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor based in New Jersey. Terrorism charges, how do you do that?
Yeah, Shep, listen, this was a great charge by the prosecutor's office because this clearly was an act of domestic terrorism. I know Carolyn Murray, who is the acting prosecutor in that location. When somebody is going out and as a result of our policies as a government in Afghanistan and Iraq are going in and targeting people and saying that in their statements it was a just kill, then they clearly are acting according to that statute as an act of terrorism. As a former prosecutor myself, we need to aggressively make sure that these sleeper cells and individuals are treated just as dangerously as somebody that does a catastrophic event. To kill this young man in the prime of his life sends a shockwave to the entire nation. He's a hero, and we should make sure that we give it the media attention and full prosecution. If it were me, I'd be trying to put him in jail for as long as I could under any charge that I could.
Well, practically speaking, when you charge him with terror instead of as a murderer, what is the change in what happens in the court proceedings and what could happen to him?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, he's charged with both of those offenses, and he can be found guilty of both of those offenses. The murder charge, however, the prosecutor will have to show based on aggravating and mitigating factors why it should be a life sentence without parole. However, if he's convicted of terrorism, it's an automatic life without parole sentence. And more importantly, I think that a public statement needs to be made by prosecutors that when somebody does something like this, we are going to go the full boat on you with every charge that we can and convict you for as much as we can to put you in jail for as long as we can. That's the message. Terrorism
Defined, though, it has much more to do with what it does to society and does to us mentally. So I guess they'll be making the argument that though he sought after this one guy, there was much more being said to the community in general.
Yeah, and you know what? He gave us the evidence that the prosecutor is going to need. It's a slam dunk. He said he did this in retaliation for the policies of the United States. He took it out on this young man, an innocent person who had nothing to do with those policies, had nothing to do with any of the activities that he complained about. He said he targeted him specifically for that. So he is a victim, a citizen soldier, if you will, and that's why he was targeted. And we need to make sure as a society, I was concerned about this when I ran the Homeland Security Division as the prosecutor, that we make sure that individual random acts of terrorism, sleeper cells, people like this, they need to be prosecuted completely and fully to the full extent of the law. So he is no different than somebody who is targeting a building with a lot of people. This is going to be the new genre of terrorism, where they go after the innocent, the people who are vulnerable, the people who aren't in places of critical infrastructure, like the Statue of Liberty or some of those places. They could just randomly go out there and they can commit a killing of a beautiful boy like this, and they can make every single person fear, no matter where you are, you're not safe. And it needs to be measured in terms of law enforcement's response to the full extent of the law. Hardcore, all the way.
Well, we'll watch it. This is going to be an interesting case. Bob Bianchi, good night to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks, Shep.